Hey, this is Jamey from Stonemaier Games, and today I'm going to talk about a game that I've been wanting to play for a long time, and that is Fleet the Dice game. I got to play this at Geekway this past weekend thanks to a very nice ambassador, Jay, who taught Megan and I how to play this game in a four-player game. It is a roll and write game where you are drafting dice and then using those dice to fill in a bunch of different spaces on your player mat here. Lots of interesting little mini games. Remind me a little bit of the newer Hadrian's Wall, but a little simpler, a little streamlined. I think I prefer this version, even though I really enjoyed Hadrian's Wall too. It's a little less complex, but a really satisfying fishing game where you're going after different fish, you're gaining boats, you're gaining licenses, and for every boat that you have, every round where there's a fishing turn, which isn't every round, but many of the rounds have fishing turns, you get to put a fish in each of your boats as long as they have capacity. And there's all these little things that you can do on shore, just a lot of interesting stuff going on into a roll and write game. Really nice level of depth to it. However, my favorite mechanism in the game is a fairly simple one, but I think it's really, really clever, and that stems from the dice drafting mechanism. So every round, one player will be the player who rolls the dice, and they're the first to select one of the dice to indicate what they're going to mark on their mat. And so the first player gets a really big decision. Second player gets a good decision too. They get to decide from the dice that are remaining. But the last player also still gets a good decision. As you see here, there are 4 dice in this tray, 4 custom dice that we played, or no, 5 dice here. We played a 4-player game because there's one more die than there are players. And the last player still has 2 dice to choose from. The die that they don't choose is a resource or a benefit that all players get. And so it gives the last player a really powerful decision. Which die are they getting, and they alone are getting that die, and which resource, which die are all players sharing as a result. And so it's a great meaty decision for that last player who's drafting, and it's a nice kind of positive player interaction moment because the last player feels like they are giving something to all the other players at the table. The other little twist here that I don't have a great photo of is that the game uses 2 sets of custom dice. One set are these fish dice that you roll during the first phase of each round. The second set of dice are market dice, or they might have a different name. I think they're essentially market dice. They correlate mostly to this right side of the player mat. And I thought that was really clever. They have 2 sets of custom dice to be rolled at different times instead of just one full set of custom dice. But in particular, and that second set of dice uses the same mechanism where the last player to draft has a choice between the die that they're getting and the die that all players share. Really nice mechanism here. I really like the positive player interaction, the interesting choice for the last player in the draft. That doesn't always work out. Sometimes you don't have an interesting decision when you were drafting like the last card in Seven Wonders or the last whatever in a game like this. And so I wanted to hear if you have any other examples that use something like this where they give the last player in a draft an interesting choice that benefits or affects all players, or if you have a different favorite mechanism in Fleet the Dice game. I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. Thanks.